you're handling and dealing with?
I used to, but if people come to one of my events or read one of my books, it always ends on a very positive thing, because I guess if you get to the real bottom line of it all, we are infinite awareness, and we are a point of attention with infinite awareness, which we have control over that point of attention. Now that is as bad as it gets.
Yeah.
And we have this awareness for eternity, because eternity is all that exists. And
but it's a stumbling block for a lot of people. It's a hurdle.
It is. But
it's
I mean, when
hurdle.
you get it down to that point, I mean, whatever's happening is something else is going to happen eventually. I mean, it is. We're just dealing with something that we're experiencing now. But the bottom line is, we are eternal consciousness. I mean, that's not bad, is it? I'll settle for that. But you're right, in the sense, and you see it across the spectrum. You see it in people who have religious views and non-religious views and all the rest of it, different political views, and they say, oh, it's all negative. And then you go into the New Age arena, where people are, saying, oh, you must let go of fear, and it's fear, that's the problem. And then because over the years, it's kind of starting to change now, but over the years, one of the greatest resistors of this information has been what people call the New Age movement. Because, oh no, it's negative, we must be positive, and all the rest of it. Now, first of all, I thought you'd let go of fear, so I don't see what the problem is. But can someone explain to me how knowledge can ever be negative? Because what is knowledge? It is an expanded awareness of what is and what's happening. How can that ever be negative? We might not like the fact that this information is as it is, but at least now we bloody know, and now we can do something about it if we choose to. We can't do anything about something we're ignorant of. So where's the negative? The greatest negative is not knowledge in whatever form that information takes. It is ignorance. It is ignorance of knowledge, lack of awareness of the situation we find ourselves in, that has got us in deeper and deeper into this situation. And, in so many ways, there are many elements of humanity that simply need to bloody grow up and stop being children in adult bodies thinking they're mature. Because, what? It's negative. Oh, no. What? The exposure of what's going to happen to your children and grandchildren and you in the timescale we're dealing with is negative. What are you talking about? Grow up, face it, do it. The biggest thing, one of the biggest things that holds people in servitude, collectively and individually, bloody denial. Because denial is simply not wanting to face reality.
Cognitive dissonance,
yes,
or whatever.
Exactly. And what is denial? It says, I don't like what the situation is, so I'm going to deny that it is like that and crack on it isn't. And I've used this analogy before, And
meanwhile, you're over here looking at this, and what's going to happen.
I know. It's like...
You can see it playing out.
Sometimes, Patrick, I feel like it's getting easier because people are waking up in greater numbers. It's brilliant, fantastic. But, I feel sometimes like I'm standing on the other side of the road, and there's a guy about to step out in front of a truck. And I'm screaming, stop, there's a truck. And he's going, you're bloody mad, there's no truck. And then there's this loud bang. And there's a tornado coming, and you don't want to face it's coming, so you put your head in the sand. Oh, there you go. There you go. Oh, God, that feels better. What's on the telly? But the tornado's still coming, and your bum is still in the air. And if you would just go, it's coming, you can face it and take avoiding action. If you put your head in the sand, in denial, then at some point, out of nowhere, you're going to be spinning 50 foot in the air.
What do you think causes this denial? Do you think it's the fear of being outcast?
I think the biggest thing, Patrick, is people don't want to face what's happening. It's too much for them.
armed with the knowledge you know something is happening, then you're forced to make a moral choice there. Do you step out and take action, or do you just kind of retreat into your shell? And a lot of people, I think that's the choice maybe they're looking at.
Well, what happens when you start to know and you accept what the situation is? Then suddenly there is a big responsibility.
Yeah.
Because with knowledge comes responsibility. What are you going to do about it? And people would rather ignore or deny to themselves that it's happening than actually face it and take that responsibility and face actually what we're in. And it's interesting how people often thrash out in a really over-the-top manner against people exposing it. Because what they're actually doing, that over-the-top attack, is an expression of their own fear that it's true.